This video is on one-step equations. We've done some one-step equations in flashbacks, some the basic one steps, not two steps or multi-steps. So this is the beginning of equations that we'll be doing in our class. So solving equations allows you to find a missing value or variable. The variable must be alone or isolated. That's our goal, is to get that variable by itself on one side of the equation. Isolate the variable by using inverse, which is opposite, operations. So if you're multiplying, you divide. If you add, you subtract. Vice versa. If you subtract, you add, and if you divide, you multiply. All right. Keep your equation balanced. That means what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. All right, and then check your solution. Is your answer by plugging your answer back into the equation. All right, this first one, they've used algebra tiles to represent those. And right here we have 1x plus 1. So for the equation, we've got x plus 1 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 8. All right, I'm going to write this over here so we can solve it. So there's the equation, and we do the inverse operation. So if this is add, then we subtract. Negative 1 and a positive 1 cancel each other out. You got a 8 minus 1, so that would be 7. So your solution is x equals 7. All right, number 2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 and 6 is 12. We've got 12 equals 1, 2, 3 x's. So that's our equation. 12 equals 3x. All right. When a number is beside a variable, that means to multiply. So you undo multiplication by division. We have seen this right here, a one-step equation, when we were doing our proportions. And then we know that we divide because we want to isolate that variable and get it by itself. And 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we mark those out. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 equals x is the solution. And that's the same as x equals 4. Just kept the problem the same. So that's using algebra tiles. Right here, we've got 4x equals 16. So let's work our problem. We've got 4x equals 16. And remember, a number beside a variable means to multiply. So we're going to divide. What you do to one side, you do to the other. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that cancels out. And we're left with x equals 16 divided by 4 is 4. Once again, you have to know your times tables. And to check that, we would plug what we got for x in, which was 4. So if we do 4 times 4 equals 16, we get 16 equals 16. They're equal, so I know that that's right. And then to graph that, it's equal, so it's a closed circle, and it's on 4. Number 4, got x plus 9 equals 13. We're adding 9, so we've got to do the opposite, because remember our goal is to get this variable by itself. So if we're add 9, then we subtract 9. 9, a positive 9 and a negative 9 cancels each other out. So we're left with x equals, and then 13 minus 9 is 4. Check your solution. You've got x plus 9 equals 13. Take this 4 that we got for x and put it there where the x is. And then we've got 9 plus 4 is 13. That equals 13. So that's right. And our answer is 4. And that equals a closed circle. That means it includes that answer. So that would be 4. Number 5. X divided by 5 equals 13. So we got x divided by 5 equals 13. This means division, so you undo division by multiplication. And we always do that operation by what's with the variable, which is 5. So we're going to multiply by 5 on both sides. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so it cancels each other out. So we're left with x equals 13 times 5 is 65. Over here we got x over 5. To check it, we're going to plug it back in. And then we're going to put 65 divided by 5 equals 13. And then 13 equals 13, so we're right. Equals a closed circle. And then we're going to graph our answer right there, 65. Number 6, x minus 8 equals 14. So x minus 8 equals 14. If we're minusing 8, to do the inverse or the opposite of that is we add 8. And negative 8 and a positive 8 cancel each other out. X equals 14 plus 8 is 22. To check, we've got x minus 8 equals 14. Put that 22 where x is, because that's what x equaled. 22 minus 8 is 14. 14 equals 14. So that's correct as well. So equal sign is a closed circle, and I'm saying that for when we get to inequalities. We got 22. Same. All right, you've got one each of all the problems here. You've got 3, 4, 5, and 6. This one is a multiply, so you would divide. This one is an add, so you would subtract. This one is a divide, so you would multiply. And this is a subtract, so you would add. So we're going to mark those as something important that you need to know, each box. As something important. You can use them as reference notes for when you do your classwork. Okay. Just keep those things you can refer back to when you're doing your work. All right. On the back, we just have more examples, but we're not checking now. So, and this is, EE is calculator active, majority of it. So we've got 6x equals 16 for number 7. 6x equals 16. That's multiply, so we divide to get rid of that 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and we're left with x equals, and on the calculator, 16 divided by 6 is 2.6666 repeating. So it's 2.6 repeating. Number 8. We've got x plus 2.5 equals 7.5. That's a plus. So we minus to get rid of it to get x by itself. What you do to one side, you do to the other. These two cancel each other out. And we're left with x equals 7.5 minus 2.5 is 5. Number 9 is 2/3 x equals 8. This is division. So we multiply. What you do to one side, you do to the other. You put the whole number over 1. These cancel out. You're left with x equals 24. 8 times 3 is 24 over 2. And 24 divided by 2 is 12. All right. Number 10 is also division. X over 3, or 1/3 x, equals 7. We're multiplying, so we multiply both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels each other out. So we're left with x equals 7 times 3 is 21. Number 11, x minus 1/10 equals 1/2. We have subtract, so we're going to do the opposite and add 1/10 to both sides. This side cancels out, and you're left with x equals, and we're adding, so we got to find a common denominator. For 10 and 2 is 10. 10 goes into 10 one time 1 is 1. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6/10, which simplifies to 3/5. Remember, on the calculator, it's math equals, and that'll simplify that for you. This is add. So we got x plus 1.6 equals 8.2. It's add, so we're going to subtract. We're going to do the opposite, or the inverse operation. All right, they cancel each other out. We're left with x equals 8.2 minus 1.6. Borrow 1 from the 8, it's a 7. Make the 2 a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6, your decimal. And 7 minus 1 is 6. So the answer is 6.6. All right, here's algebra tiles again. Remember, on the front, it said you had to keep the equation balanced. You have to balance this to make it equal. So let's look at what we have. We have an x. I'm going to put this over here. X, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative ones. That's equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. And we're subtracting, so if you're subtracting, you're going to add to get rid of it, to get the variable by itself. They cancel each other out. You've got x equals 9 plus 5 is 14. So your equation is x minus 5 equals 9, and your solution is x equals 14. Number 14 is division. You got 1/5 x. A variable by itself is understood to be 1. So we've got x over 5 equals 11. That is divide, so we're going to multiply by what's with the x. 5 divided by 5 cancels out. And we're left with x equals, and 11 times 5 is 55. So that is true. And you can figure, yes, it's true. And you can figure that out by substituting $55 for x. Makes the equation true. So if I put 55 divided by 5 equals 11, 55 divided by 5 is 11. 11 equals 11. So you know you're correct. Number 15, you got to write the equation from a word problem. Pedro made lemonade for some friends. He served 34 ounces to his friends and then measured that there were 20 ounces left over. How much lemonade did Pedro make? All right, so 1, we don't know what he made, so that's going to be 8. X, I mean. So how much did he make? All right, he served 34, so $34 ounces, and he has 20 left over. So that means these two right here added to get subtracted 34 subtracted from this, excuse me, is going to give you that 20. So our equation is going to be x minus 34 equals 20 because the question said how much lemonade did Pedro make? So what did he start with? So we take that equation, x minus 34 equals 20, and subtract, so we add. What you do to one side, you do to the other. These always cancel out, and left with x equals, and 20 plus 34 is 54. So your solution is x equals 54 ounces. 16. A group of 6 neighbors hosted a garage sale in which they pulled their items together. That means they put all the money together and equally split the profits. Each neighbor profited $56.68. What was the total amount earned at the garage sale? So what was the total amount that we learned? All right, so X is how much they made. That's what we're looking for. How much was made? Their profit was $56.88. Was their profit per person? And then it's divided up by 6, split equally 6 ways. All right, so if you look at that, the profit per person was $56.68. So I'm going to put this right here, 56.88, I mean. And it's split 6. Split is division, so split 6 times. So this is going to be X. How much was made altogether divided by 6 gives each person that profit of $56.88. So we take that X divided by 6 and set it equal to $56.88. This is division, so you multiply both sides by 6. Cancel that out. And you're left with X equals, and $56.88 times 6 is $341.28. $341.28.